Welcome to the very start of your sunrise bumble through the bush. We are looking at the moon, or as my cameraman hopes, it is a big ball of cheese. Full moon, everyone! A time that I absolutely love each month, and the sky is just bright and blue and gorgeous. We've got a very sleepy Ntima here, who's just sleeping at the entrance. And I figured that it's 25 past 7 in the morning, and it's perfect feeding time. The sun is up, it's not as bitterly cold, still cold, but Ntima, you're gonna fall asleep like that. But it's a really nice time to catch Ntima wakening up the cub and just to see who else is around. I remember going to all the dens on Philemon's Dip on Juma, and they always used to be active in the morning. But here it's just Ntima, not even a peep from Junebug. I think Junebug is fast asleep in there, cuddled up to the other little cub. But it's very smelly here. Sorry, Ntima, but this den is stinking. I like the smell of hyenas. I really do. But this is, it's very stinky. I think you guys need to move dens soon. What about Juma? What about Philemon's Dip? Remember those dens, Ntima? She's not interested. I know it's not the best views of Ntima, but it's a really tricky signal spot for us for some really odd reason. And at least here we've got a nice view of Ntima when she puts her head up, and we've also got a nice view of the entrance. So we're just going to work with it.
So yes, indeed, we've got two little warties that are having a go at each other. Looks like they're just doing a bit of wrestling, head to head, pushing each other around, and that they've been acting all strange, full of energy and jumping about. And I think the warthogs also suffered quite heavily when it was very cold these last few days, because when we were driving around, we hardly saw any, and then we also had a few just sort of coming out of their burrows as we came past, and I think frightened them because they were hunkered down, keeping warm. So I think now they'll be full of energy, sprightly. It's nice and warm this morning, and that's maybe why they're having a little bit of playtime.
We have a black-backed jackal. So I said to you last time that I would tell you a bit about our plans, but Ralph had those warthogs that were having a go at each other, which is some amazing action. But part of the plan for me was to find some jackals. And we've come to this little quarry that's quite close to the airstrip. You might have heard of that road before, that area. We just pop in here every now and then just to have a look. And this time, there was a black-backed jackal to say hello. It seems to be drinking from the tiny little puddles. Look how little those puddles are. This is, like we get animals that really care about the quality of water, like elephants. Most of the time, predators really don't care. If it's muddy and full of sediment, it doesn't matter to them. And off you go. Where are you going to go now? Oh, I love their trot. I so enjoy spending time with jackals, something that we don't get to do much at Juma. Oh, muddy paws, and you're gonna run away now. This red-crested korhan is sleeping, so it just looks like an egg. It's got its head tucked away on its back. It's just so sweet. We don't often get to see larger birds sleeping. I've never seen a red-crested korhaan sleeping, so I thought I'd show it to you. Just looks like an egg. Oh, when it wakes up, obviously, it'll push its neck back out, do a couple stretches, get ready for the day, but for now that neck is tucked in. You can see it breathing though. Oh, you look cold. A red-crested korhaan has a pretty long neck, and it's covered in very short feathers, very fine short feathers. So that means that some heat is lost through that neck. So that makes sense that when they sleep, they pull that in so that it's against the body. And so at least half of the neck, the part that's not exposed, the part that's against the body, is not losing a lot of heat. I think it's also quite comfortable, to be honest, resting your head against your fluffy body.
And we are indeed down at Indulge Dam. To our surprise, no elephants, but we've got a number of buffalo coming down, and yeah, more and more and more. It looks like a breeding herd because there are cows present here. Yeah, PK and I were very, very surprised that this female just dived into the water when she sort of popped over the bank. As I say, it's probably only 10 or 12 degrees, so certainly not weather hot enough to cool off in the water. I don't know, maybe she was just exceptionally thirsty. Yeah, these buff are coming in numbers now. Must be a small breeding herd. Very, very cool. Again, we know water in Africa means life. Superb. So, well, we had a sense that there was a big breeding herd of buffalo around, and that little group we saw drinking 20 or 30 minutes ago was just a taster. The bulk of the herd has just very suddenly arrived in Indulge Dam. I reckon this is that big group that comes through Pridelands every so often. 100, 150, maybe 200 individuals. Really quite splendid. And there are loads of youngsters in this herd, so maybe it'll bring the lions through in the next couple of days. Still with our large herd of buffalo here up on a ridge top south of Indulge Dam on Pridelands. The herd moving through a fairly thick red bush willow thicket. So we're just kind of starting to lose visual of the tail of them. But we have had some really high quality buffalo sightings this morning. What a pleasure it's been. And yeah, what a phenomenal end to my little Pridelands stint. It has been a stunning 6 or 7 odd days. I'm extremely grateful.